Welcome back to another episode of Luxury in Life. If you enjoy this type of content, then subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss out on any of our latest and greatest uploads. When the topic of lifestyles of the rich and famous come up, what is the first thing that enters your mind? Aside from the array of expensive toys and all the luxuries money can buy, it also comes into consideration what would be considered the richest neighborhoods in America. Stretching across from the eastern shores, dancing along the Atlantic, to the Hawaiian Islands in the Pacific to the west, there is so much ground to cover that has catered to all sorts of lifestyles, regardless of class level. However, among the wealthiest citizens calling America their home, most of them tend to live in communities that are so far beyond the price range of the average homeowner that only the richest of the rich can afford it. In almost every case, these communities are either gated or heavily guarded to ensure the neighborhood is kept safe, as there are many celebrities, as well as prominent businessmen and politicians, who reside in some of these communities. When calculating the average median per household and rounding it up, anything less than $350,000 per year mark, and odds are you're not making it enough to financially fit in. Number 20. Hillsborough, California, $430,000. South of San Francisco, California, San Mateo County's Hillsborough has an impressive layout of mansions, and the real estate in this neighborhood doesn't come cheap. On average, each household earns about $430,000 USD annually. Some of the most impressive architectural designs can be found here. Among the 11,000 residents, notable residents who called Hillsborough their home include a long list of professional athletes, such as Greg Maddux, as well as notable businessmen, such as LinkedIn CEO Ryan Roslansky. Number 19. Scarsdale, New York City, New York, $450,000. Located in Westchester County of New York City, this is considered one of the richest communities on the East Coast. The average median per household is over $450,000 US. Here, you will find an impressive list of celebrities such as Rob Reiner and Susan Lucci, as well as prominent businessmen, lawyers, and politicians. 18. Everglades Club, Palm Beach, Florida, $470,000. On average, the household income among the residents of the Everglades Club is almost $470,000 USD. This is one of the most prominent social clubs in America, if not the world. What originally started out as a hospital location for wounded World War I veterans quickly became one of the hottest real estate spots after the war was over. Granted, this is called a club, but it belongs to Palm Beach, which is not just Florida's most prominent community, but serves as the home for some of the wealthiest Americans on the planet. There are about 9,000 residents here. Number 17. The Golden Triangle, Greenwich, Connecticut, $510,000. From Greenwich, Connecticut, the Golden Triangle has earned its name as one of America's wealthiest neighborhoods. The average household income is over $510,000 USD and has the most amount of hedge fund managers and financiers in the nation. In some cases, there are arguments its residents are even wealthier than the men and women living in Billionaires Row. The long and impressive list of notable names that call Greenwich and its Golden Triangle home also include former presidents of the United States, as well as a flurry of big-name actors such as Mel Gibson and Adam Sandler. Greenwich itself has a population roster of over 60,000 residents, and the Golden Triangle just happens to be a big part of it. Number 16. West Menlo Park, Atherton Town, California, $525,000. Atherton Town's West Menlo Park has residents who average about $525,000 US per household. The huge majority of its citizens hold at least a bachelor's degree, and many of them came from Stanford University, which is located nearby. This community has about 4,000 residents, including notable residents such as Fleetwood Mac's Stevie Nicks and Google's founding investor Ram Shriram. According to Niche, the median value of a home here is worth over $2 million American dollars. Number 15. Tribeca, New York City, New York, $879,000. Tribeca has the most expensive zip code in the country. Located in New York City's Lower Manhattan, Tribeca houses some of the richest residents not just in America, but in the world. The old-style homes in this urbanized neighborhood of Manhattan Island splendor are a stark contrast to Billionaires Row. Both of these locations have the most expensive real estate in the market, where a penthouse costing over $10 million American dollars to buy is now considered common. Residents of Tribeca have an average annual income of $870,000 US. There are over 17,000 people who live in this area, including Jessica Biel, Billy Crystal, Kelly Ripa, and Taylor Swift. Number 14. Darien, Connecticut, $350,000. Darien, located in Fairfax County, Connecticut, is just under 40 miles north of New York City. But it feels like a world of its own with the array of parks, beaches, and private clubs that it has to offer. For at least $1 million American dollars, one could buy a home here, and the average median per household is $350,000 US. It houses just over 20,000 residents, including a long and impressive list of celebrities, notable businessmen, and politicians. 13. Winnetka, Illinois, $350,000. Located in Cook County, Illinois, Winnetka has residents here that average $350,000 US annually. Actors such as Chris O'Donnell call this place home, and this is the city that has an impressive collection of some of America's best architecture. There are about 12,000 people who call Winnetka their home. This was also where the movie Home Alone was filmed by John Hughes. Number 12. Glencoe, Chicago, Illinois, $360,000. On average, the folks living in Glencoe, which is a North Shore suburb of Chicago, Illinois, make an annual income of $360,000 US. This is where the infamous Chicago Botanic Garden is located, and where John Hughes shot scenes for the 1980s box office hits Ferris Bueller's Day Off and 16 Candles. There are about 9,000 residents here, including Nick Foley's of the Chicago Bears, and an impressive collection of notable businessmen, celebrities, novelists, and politicians. Number 11. Rancho Santa Fe, San Diego County, California, $360,000. On average, the residents have a median income of at least $360,000 USD, as this swanky neighborhood in San Diego sits along the coast of the Pacific Ocean, near the border of Mexico. The city itself houses over 1 million people, while the neighborhood of Rancho Santa Fe holds about 3,000 of the city's wealthiest members of its population. The majority of these residents are big-name athletes, as well as the Ghostbuster legend himself, Bill Murray, and the co-founder of Microsoft, Bill Gates. Perhaps followers of tabloid articles may be aware of the story shared by the New York Post, where the newly divorced Gates turned his luxury mansion into what the locals apparently considered was a nuisance. Number 10. Highland Park, Dallas, Texas, $365,000 USD. If you want to buy a home in Highland Park, Dallas, Texas, be prepared to fork out at least $1 million. Dallas is home to over 1 million people and is one of the heaviest populated cities in America. As for Highland Park itself, there are about 9,000 people here, where the average household income is over $365,000 USD. Among the residents of this neighborhood are Bill Clemens, governor of Texas, as well as a number of world-class athletes from the National Football League and the Major Baseball League. 9. Hills of Summerlin, Corte Bella, Las Vegas, Nevada, $372,000. On average, a resident living in the Hills of Summerlin neighborhood of Cortabella has an annual income of $372,000. This gated community is located in Las Vegas that has houses no less than 2,000 square feet in size and starts at the bargain basement price of $300,000 USD. In this neighborhood, O.J. Simpson lives here, along with a number of professional athletes, politicians, and even the infamous magicians David Copperfield and Penn Jillette. Number 8. Short Hills, Millburn Township, New Jersey, $380,000. On average, a citizen living in the neighborhood of Short Hills makes $380,000 US per year. The vast majority of the people who live here have at least a bachelor's degree in something that has placed them in jobs paying well enough so they can afford to live in the most expensive neighborhood belonging to the state of New Jersey. As an unincorporated neighborhood, Short Hills belongs to Millburn Township, which is in Essex County, New Jersey. The population of Short Hills is about 13,000 people. In order to buy a house here, one needs to invest at least $2 million these days to do so. In addition to most of the residents being top executives for a corporation of some kind, there are also a number of world-class athletes, fashion designers, and entertainers who live here. 7. Windmill Ranch Estates, Weston, Florida, $380,000. With the median income of nearly $380,000 US per household, in order to simply buy a home in Windmill Ranch Estates, you will need at least $1 million to do it. Weston is just west of Fort Lauderdale, with a population of just under 70,000 people. Many professional athletes, entertainers, and even politicians live in this pricky neck of the woods. 6. Beverly Hills, California, $400,000. Beverly Hills has been designated as the ultimate example of luxury living in movies, television, and for real. The median income in Beverly Hills is just under the $400,000 USD mark and still remains one of the favorite neighborhoods for celebrities living in the Los Angeles area. This neighborhood's Rodeo Drive is world-renowned for its designer shops, as is the Golden Triangle. There are over 32,000 people who can afford to live here. But don't let those numbers fool you. It is not cheap to buy a home here, nor to even live here. Some of the biggest names in the entertainment industry call this place their home, and most of them certainly know how to live up to the rich and famous lifestyle that used to be a television show once upon a time. Number 5. Brookville, Oyster Bay, Long Island, New York, $400,000. Ever since the founding of America itself as a nation, New York City has been the hotbed of activity that was clearly destined for greatness. Does it come as any surprise one of the most expensive neighborhoods in the USA just happens to be near the city that never sleeps? With the average household income of $400,000 per year, the real estate in Long Island's most expensive neighborhood clearly suggests nothing comes cheap. Brookville is considered a quiet community, with its collection of upscale businesses and designer shopping malls. Although Oyster Bay is considered to have its own township, it's still just a stone's throw away from New York City. Maybe in Brookville, one can get some sleep compared to city living, but it will certainly cost you to do so. There are nearly 3,500 people who call the neighborhood of Brookville their home. People calling this neighborhood their home include Angie Dickinson, Mark Anthony, and a number of top-ranking politicians and dignitaries. 4. Southampton, Hamptons, New York, $400,000. At the median income of at least $400,000 per household, this is needed in order to call Southampton, Hamptons of New York your home and get away with it. Already with a reputation for its beauty between the beaches and high-end boutiques, even just vacationing in Southampton fetches a monthly rental fee of $1 million American dollars. Michael J. Fox is one of many high-profile neighbors who call Southampton home, as well as a long list of artists, athletes, and politicians. 3. Burr Ridge Club, Chicago, Illinois, $425,000 US. The average median is about $425,000 among the residents of Burr Ridge Club. Located just west of Chicago, Illinois, this is one of America's most beautiful communities. The majority of its residents prefer a quiet yet luxurious lifestyle that doesn't come cheap. The city of Chicago has over 3 million people and is the third most populous city in the nation. In Burr Ridge, there are about 11,000 citizens, including Bo Jackson and Jennifer Hudson. Number 2. Los Altos Hills, San Jose, California, $425,000. The average house goes for about $5 million US, and the average median per household is over the $425,000 US mark. The co-founder of Yahoo, Jerry Yang, is one of the neighbors who call this place home, as well as several top-ranking employees of Apple, since its headquarters are nearby. This is also one of the strictest residential communities, as it does not allow retail outlets of any kind here. This is so the neighborhood of approximately 8,000 residents can keep its quiet setting and enjoy the private horseback rides at its West Wind Community Barn. Number 1. Cherry Hills Village, Denver, Colorado, $430,000. The population of Cherry Hills Village is about 6,000 people, and the median income sits around $250,000 per household. In order to buy a house here, expect to fork out almost $3 million. This is also the home of 2 major PGA championships, as well as a number of athletes that love to live here, including Chris Brewer and David Duval. With the scenery of mountains and so much more, Colorado is one of the most scenic states in America. It is why it has become one of the most desirable places to live. And with that, we've reached the end of this video all about the richest neighborhoods. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to leave a like if you found this video helpful and interesting. We'll see you again soon in the next one.